Welcome to a quick edition of A.T.S.B.S. And for those of you that don't know, A.T.S.B.S. simply stands for Ain't This Some Book? And yeah, I don't talk about wrestling in this type of thing too often, but this one I had to. Now, let me say this up front. I have developed a growing fandom for Bianca BelAir. I'll admit, I have grown up to become a fan of the sister. But at the same time, I have to also say, I have nothing against Becky Lynch. In fact, I like Becky Lynch. But that mess that happened last night at SummerSlam 2021 was pure, unadulterated, unfiltered. Boo! Because it ain't because she won. It ain't because Becky Lynch won. I can live with that. But the way that they did it, first of all, they false advertised. I mean, I know I'd say there is always that stipulation with wrestling cards, particularly cards subject to change. That is a legal loophole that a lot of pro wrestling and boxing advertisers use to get in and out of things. However, the fact that they knew now, and it's coming out, I saw a video with Cultaholic Wrestling this morning headlining that WWE knew for at least a week prior to SummerSlam that Sasha Banks, and that was the original match, Sasha Banks versus Bianca BelAir, they knew a week ahead of time that Sasha was not going to be able to compete at SummerSlam, yet they continued to advertise this match. I think that's grounds for false advertisement. I really do. If they knew a week ahead of time that she was not going to be able to participate in the match, they should have been honest and upfront with the fans and with the public and started spinning an angle to where you could put in a new opponent. Now, as for Becky Lynch's return, it was fine. I loved it. I marked out for it at the beginning. I mean, anything was better than seeing Bianca BelAir whooping Carmella's ass for the 2,678th time. I mean, anything was better than that. But then the match that we got, and everybody was for it. I certainly was for it. Bianca BelAir versus Becky Lynch. That's more than a good substitute for Sasha Banks than Bianca BelAir. That's at least right up there. And then the match happened. And I put match in quotation marks. Becky Lynch holds out her hand to Bianca. Bianca shakes it. She basically pulls a heel move, hits her in the face with a quick forearm. Then basically, they're calling it the man slam. Let's call it what it is. It's the freaking Uranagi. Or for more fans of the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era, it was the freaking rock bottom. That's what it was. And she gets a quick 3 count in under 30 seconds. And I don't want to hear this talk about, and you know who you are when I say this, about, rookies holding titles. I don't want to hear it. If that's the case, you should have never gave Goldberg his run back in WCW when he was the world champion. You should have never gave Brock, Lesnar, his run as WWE champion back in 2002. That's all I got to say on that part. It wasn't that Becky Lynch won. It was the way they did it. They crapped on Becky Lynch's return. They definitely crapped on Bianca BelAir, who I have to admit has managed to make her SmackDown Women's title run mean something despite the bad booking. Something that Rhea Ripley over on Raw was unable to do. She deserved better than this. And the one excuse that I keep hearing over and over was about, Becky Lynch never lost the Women's Championship. Hey, numbnuts. Let me remind you of something. It was the Raw Women's Championship she lost. Wouldn't it make more sense for her to go to Raw if you're going to go with that narrative and not SmackDown? I'm just saying. If you're going to go with that narrative, she should have went to Raw. Because it was the Raw championship she gave up without losing it. So no, that does not fly. Why can't people just admit this was a bad choice? This was a bad way to do things. Had she lost, it didn't even have to be a long match. If Bianca BelAir would have lost the title in, say, a 5-minute match, that would have been cool. That would have been fine. At least I wouldn't have complained about it. I don't know about anybody else, but I wouldn't have complained about it. But having her lose in this fashion spits on all those months of effort that Bianca put in a way, kind of spits on Sasha Banks and even before her, Bayley, the other 2 Four Horsewomen, kind of spits on them too, in a way, especially Sasha Banks. And I hate to say it, but this has a lot of Kofi Kingston vibes. Back when he lost the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar in actually quicker fashion than this. So, yeah, this was just a bad booking decision. Not to mention, you already had bad taste for false advertising to begin with. So, that's my quick rant on this. I'm out. Oh, and one last thing. I read online some of the post-match comments when Bianca BelAir finally spoke up about her loss. She tried to sound all gracious and this and that. Okay, I'm going to sound like Regina of Club Atlantis for a second, the Nature Girl 30. That it's okay for you to be pissed. I am getting so sick and tired of them booking the women in general, but especially, and I hate to sound like a pro-black, but I'm so tired of in these movies, in wrestling, and all this, they gotta book these people as humble and this and that. No, when the situation doesn't call for it, it's okay for you to be mad. Why does everybody else get the vent, but we can't? Or in this case, females can't too. I mean, you got to include them in this situation too. No, it's okay for you to be pissed. It's okay for you not to speak to the media when you just had a devastating loss. It's okay. Oh, God. Yeah, I could see why Regina gets ticked off about that. Now I'm out for real.